Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Wave the Brush with me, your host, Kris, aka the Name Butcher, aka Hey You, Get Off My Lawn. Wave the Brush, the most informative 120 minutes on the internet on the wargaming lifestyle. We'll talk about painting, terrain, conversions, and everything under the sun. Usually delve into a lot of painting talk as well as a lot of what's under the sun, meaning no topics are barred. We'll talk about anything and everything. So if you're a first-time viewer, be warned. But of course, if you are a first-time viewer and you're attending live, you can ask your questions in the chat, whichever direction it might be in for you. And of course, if you're not able to attend live, you can also ask your questions to Kris at wavethebrush.com. It is in the description below. Feel free to send me any of your questions, anything and everything. And I know that there are many people at varying levels of this hobby that need their questions answered, and so I'm more than willing to help you guys out, and as well as a lot of the viewers as well, aka the monkeys. Of course, in the description below is a link to wavethebrush.com, central hub of all the silliness. It's got links to all the social medias, as well as t-shirts. Want to get yourself a t-shirt? Look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this world. They're wearing a Wave the Brush t-shirt. They are. If you see them in the background, like you see like those old photographs of like the time travelers and stuff, you see one is wearing a Wave the Brush t-shirt. You'll see it. Google it. Jujule it. So, wavethebrush.com also has links for t-shirts, and of course, if you've purchased yourself a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt, and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, which is also on wavethebrush.com, as well as a link to Patreon support. I'm independent these days, and so Patreon is how I'm making this all happen. So a huge thank you to all my Patreon supporters, and if you're considering Patreon support, a huge, huge thank you. And of course, today is a special day because I'm finally getting around to doing my Patreon giveaway. So one of these things that I initially planned, because Patreon is in tiers, and there's varying tier levels, and so the last two tiers of support, I've been meaning to do this as a fun thing, and a way to give back and everything like that. And oh right, I can see Twitchy's doing things on Twitch there, and I forgot to turn on the guy. Where's the bot? Where is the guy? Where's the guy? There he is. Hold on. Let me turn on the guy. Now those commands should start working soon. Provided I didn't mess everything up here. Yeah, he's coming online. The Demon Monkey Bot. So, Patreon support. Huge, huge thank you. Basically, everybody who supports by Patreon gets early access, naming credits, and of course, once I get them in, dice will be available as well. And of course, one of the big things for the upper tiers was that I was going to give away a model that was completed throughout the month of painting. Now, I haven't quite gotten to the point where I have completed any models as far as what I've been doing for the fresh tips, but I figured, well, I'm sitting on a bunch of models that I've completed for ages, and they're just sitting on my shelf collecting dust, and, I don't really need them. They're not going for anything. They're not, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to start an army from them or anything like that. So, what I'm going to give away, let's hang on to that one. But I said I was going to be surprised. I put out a video yesterday announcing that I was going to do this today. And so, yeah, so this is for this, the non-metallic metal monkeys and the shiny monkey tier. Those are the upper tiers. And so I'm giving this model away. So one of those few that are supporting at that level, you're entered in automatically. You don't have to be here today, but I'm just going to do it here on the show live, and just so that nobody suspects Kris of favoritisms or anything like that, right? So yeah, we'll do that at some point in the show today. What else? I'm forgetting somebody. Oh right. Huge thank you, Carl, a.k.a. Guymere Alfer, a.k.a. Beard and Blood Bowl. That's his YouTube channel. Check him out if you love yourself some beer and you love yourself some Blood Bowl. Beer and Blood Bowl is where it's at. We always say thank you to Carl for taking the time out of his busy day to create the email jingles that play before the email segment of the show. So we always show Carl much love for bringing that extra little smile to our faces when we hear or our ears are blown out from the jingle. One of the two. It's usually ears are blown out. I don't know. Alrighty, so what do we got going on here in the comments? I can see Eldari Lamborghini. Here we go. Twitch Kranos over on Twitch. Shocking. Sir Peanut Butter, morning peeps, and Kris, Kevin Cabal. Hello, happening hobbyists. Aaron Seach, there he is. Howdy, Kris and Monkey Brethren. Happy Saturday. Is Happy Saturday like a holiday? Like where we're just gonna say, hey, Happy Saturday. Hey, Happy Friday. Good day Sunday? I don't know. I'm terrible at this. Stinky Diver. Hi, Kris. Hi, Stinky. Regular 2-inch brush. Lewis. It's a regular. Happening, guys. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Went to the GW store anniversary today, and they stepped up the cost necessary to get free stuff, which sucks. You know, you now have to spend £400 to get everything as opposed to $200 last year, if you recalls. Oof. On top of that, buying the anniversary mini doesn't contribute to that total. Huh? I figured just spending money makes things happen, right? But go into on the anniversary and spend £400? Oof. Like £400. You know how much that is Canadian? It's like 800 Canadian. You basically pretty much double the pound. But I mean, like, I realize that's not totally accurate, but it's pretty damn near British pound to Canadian dollar. Because that's what I go by. That's the currency. That's my preferred currency. Like there's a preferred currency. This is currency, whatever you're using in the land, right? I was read Demon Monkey Butt. It's like Demon Monkey Butt. Oh, right. The Demon Monkey Butt. He has actually been awoken in a bit. I keep forgetting to turn him on. I think last week too when I was doing the show I forgot to turn him on. So there could have been all sorts of craziness going on in Twitch land. Wouldn't have known. Well, I would have known because I would see it. But anyway. Stinky Diver. I had a question concerning smoothing surfaces that have been stippled, but I was force-fed some kind of hipster kale salad with eggs last night, and now I can't stop farting. Wait, what? We went in two different directions there, Stinky. Question: smoothing surfaces that have been stippled. Now, are we talking about like the texture was stippled, like with like for example, like you know when you use drywall on a wall and you stipple it? Are you talking about that, or are you talking about when you're stippling and painting, like the painting technique stippling? Because smoothing out a surface that was stippled, like if you took like say for example we were modeling and we took modeling putty and then we stippled that surface to create a really rough texture. I mean, fine grade sandpaper obviously would take that surface down. If you were painting and you were stippling and the painting was really kind of heavy and so you could actually see a bit of a texture from the paint, that one can be kind of challenging. A very, very, very fine sandpaper might be able to break that surface and knock it down, but you're more than likely going to end up just pulling that surface layer off. Yeah, that's kind of a tricky one. I'm not too sure exactly which way you were meaning as far as like texturing the actual surface or the painting technique of stippling and then ending up inadvertently creating a rough surface on that model. The fine grit sandpaper, obviously if it was a modeling choice, should take that down just fine, especially if it's just modeling putty. But if we're talking paint and you want to preserve the effect that was created, but you don't want to have that really rough surface, then yeah, a fine grit sandpaper might work, but it more than likely will end up just pulling at that raised surface because as you lay a lot of paint down, it'll all be one mass. So as you abrade, unless of course you get a really, really fine sandpaper, like 1,000, you know, even wet sanding should work because when water-based acrylics, when they dry, they're waterproof. So they're not going to reactivate if you put water on the surface. And so you can even do like a fine wet sand and try and knock that surface down if you want to try and preserve that paint job. Otherwise, just strip it and, you know, start again. Again, I'm not too sure exactly what what we're talking about there. Lazy Monkey over on Twitch. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Monster Judas. Hello. I'm painting while listening today. Cool. I've been watching a lot of your stuff, Monster Judas. You're a very busy individual. Getting a lot of stuff done. I like to see that. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. Reese Taylor. Hey, dude. Missed anything? No. Not really. I don't think so. Did you? I don't think you did. Nothing terribly interesting anyway. Lazy Monkey. Paint stippling. Perhaps go over with a couple layers of clear coat and then smooth with paper and a recoat. Well, you probably can just get a smooth surface again just by applying a few layers of a clear coat. If you thin down a couple layers and then put a somewhat heavier layer down and then put a couple thin layers. Again, if that is what the issue is, I'm not sure exactly here. Oh, Stinky Diver. My problem was with physical texture as a result from goopy dry paint. Would a varnish help to even that out? Also, you have 1,000 grit on deck. I'll try it. Yeah, you might even have to go a little finer than 1,000 grit. But yeah, applying the clear coat on top could help. Again, like I said, like it sounds like, okay, it's from goopy dry paint. And you were stippling and you created a texture with the goopy dry paint. But you don't really want that texture. So yeah, sanding possibly can take it down. Don't be surprised though if you end up pulling that layer off. Or, and this is the other really bad one, is if you pull that layer and it has adhesion to the layer below it, and it pulls that layer as well. So that is a very real risk. Getting in and actually kind of like pulling a layer off, you know what I mean, without destroying another layer requires forethought, because you put a layer down, seal it, put another layer down, seal it, you know what I mean? But then you're getting quite thick on your layers when you start talking like that. The varnish may help. You'd have to apply a few layers. You could possibly even sand it afterwards and then put a final, you know what I mean? Just use it kind of like a filler, right? Just like a filler. Just fill that space in. You might even only have to do it on the area. I don't know if you want to do it to the whole model or just to the area. Again, yeah. If it really is that big an issue, and if you haven't done anything that is, you know what I mean, like, if you weren't doing this to a display type standard or to a really exacting standard, you were just kind of like hammering through a bunch of models, you probably could just strip them and go from there. But yeah. Peep Eater, laying down color on an Alpha Legion Praetor cloak. Cool. Stinky Diver, I like the cool, messy, stippled gradient. I just know as soon as I dry brush the rivets and edges nearby, it's going to look like fecal matter. Yeah. Yeah, because the dry brushing will pick up that very hilly texture you've created with the stippling. I mean, you can always carefully dry brush around the areas. Again, clear coat might actually be what you're looking for. Apply a fairly, not a huge amount. And normally I would apply, if I was going to try and use it kind of like a gap filler, I probably would use something more like a Pledge. Fill in the area, light thin layer, and then deliberately apply it to where I saw high point, like the low points, so let it pool in, and then give it one final, right? Kind of like just fill in the little divots, and then put an even layer on top, and that should even it all out. That is going to be quite thick, though. But, of course, too, I mean, it all depends, really, I guess, whether or not, again, these are for display, you're going to be taking pictures of these, or are these just gaming pieces, in which case, don't really have to sweat it. I mean, because when you're looking at the model, and you're, really looking at the model, you see all these little imperfections, and when you take a picture of it, it really brings it out, right? But if they're just gaming pieces, I really wouldn't sweat it all that much. Not really. I mean, it's not necessary. Bum, 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 bum. Sorry, I'm just going through my thingsies. Nick Dumont. Hi, everybody. Another email sent while the show is going, this time with some proofreading. Reese Taylor, what colors would you use for a lake in a forest, Kris? In a forest, Kris? Was going to use resin on the base to look like a stream, but unsure what colors to apply on base before the resin. Well, I guess it all depends really on, like, how deep and dark you want to give that impression of that water. If it's kind of like the edge of a lake, then you might want to go with slightly deeper blues up to a light blue, and then even possibly tint the resin to be a slight blue, so that way you get all this nice varying. A nice one is not using just a blue, but actually using like a little tinge of green in it, so you get kind of not quite a turquoise, but you have this tinge of green in the water as well. Just because a lot of lakes and stuff like that, they're not blue. They often, sometimes even have a lot of browns to them or greens, So, and just bear in mind that on the base, the darker your undercoloring goes, the deeper the impression is to the viewer of what that water is. So if you go really, really dark, it's giving that impression that water is really, really dark. Keep it fairly light, it feels more like we're getting to a beach, right? So all things to bear in mind. I'm not too sure exactly how much area you're doing, and yeah. If we're talking a base, first thing I'm thinking is like a 25 millimeter base, and there's not a lot of room there to do like a stream. Half the base looking like it's in water, sure. The entire base, sure. But again, yeah, how deep do you go? And for a base like that, you really don't have to go that deep. And like a fun one you could do is, like, for example, you could do an underpinning of blue, say like a slightly darker than mid-tone blue. So like if you were going with, say, like if we're going with GW colors, something like Caldor Sky mixed with just a little bit of Cantor blue, start off, and then build up to even Temple Guard blue just at the edges. And then with your resin, add a bit of a blue-green or even just a tinge of green to the resin, and then put that on top, and it should give you this really kind of organic water-like look. Again, that's for kind of a blue-greeny kind of water. Most lake systems you see, especially in North America here, the water has the impression, it's perfectly clear, but the water, the underground, like the bed of the lake is often brown because, just there's so much organic matter in the water, right? It's just dead trees, leaves, all that shit, right? So that kind of thing. So something to consider without, knowing all the variables, as it were, Reese. Stinky Diver. In any case, no worries. I'm just trying stuff out on junk spare part. Better to have many happy accidents right now. Now, right? Happy accidents now, right? Yeah, well, definitely. Stinky, don't be afraid to play around with technique and what you're doing, and, just try stuff out. Yeah, I fully encourage that. Again, sanding even the surfaces. Like if you're not used to do it, like that kind of idea of sanding paint and sanding the surface down, practice on something. Especially if it's something that you want to do a good job on. Yeah, give it a try and sand it out, and just try it out. It doesn't hurt to try something out before trying it on something that you want to have for a good piece, right? Because it might be like a game piece, but maybe it's a character, and you want to do a good paint job on it. Nothing wrong with that, But yeah, trying out like a sanding technique, how much pressure you should apply, and also getting into like nooks and crannies, and it's. But if you are used to the concepts of sanding and doing furniture and cars and whatever, I'm sure you'll be fine. Nick Dumont, could edge highlight instead of dry brushing? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, with the rough surface, yeah, you could just ignore that characteristic of it and go with just an edging, right? You don't have to dry brush the surface. You can just simply edge the surfaces and, ignore essentially that rougher surface, because I guess really, Stinky, is how rough is the surface? Are we talking it looks like the surface of an avocado, or is it just a little bit bumpy? Like just, a slight bump here and there. You know what I mean? Like how rough is that? Like how cavernous is that surface? Shadizo? Anyway, hi Kris and everyone. How's everyone doing today? I think everyone is doing okay. I think we're okay. So, I am. Everything's going good? Hey, everything's going good too. I am going to show you guys a sneak peek. Not a sneak peek, but just a quick little thing. Yeah, there we go. Change of focus here. So I'm going to show you guys what the patrons are getting today. And so I was like, what do I give away? I have no idea. So I am giving away this custom true scale Space Marine. So I'm sending this off. This is a unique piece. You will not be able to find this piece anywhere. It is custom built by me. It is true scale before Primaris Marines were a thing. I did this, I don't know how many years ago. There's a bunch of tutorials on it, how it's done. But yeah, that's what I'm giving away. So, one of the lucky patrons today will get themselves this model. That's what I'm sending away. Sound like fun? Does that sound like fun? Yeah. So I'm giving him away because I don't need him. And maybe somebody out there will appreciate it more than me. Possible. I don't know. Race Taylor. Nice one, Kris. Thanks for the advice. And yeah, it's only a 25 mil base. Just got a rock stuck to base, a wood elf on top. Yeah, if you want to go for that impression of water on the 25 mil base, I'd probably just do kind of like it's like the edge of the water, and not try and do like a stream running through it, because then that's just going to look like a little blue vein, or you know what I mean? Like it's not going to, I don't think it's going to give the impression that you want. Whereas if you're giving the impression of like, it's the edge of a water system, it could be the edge of a stream, could be the edge of a lake. Who knows? It's the edge of water, right? And so have the elf standing kind of at the edge, or whatever. I think that'll work out just fine. But yeah, I don't think putting like a little stream, right inside a 25 mil base, I don't think that'll look good. I don't think it'll look the way you want it to look. I think it'll look a little funny. It'll make the elf look like he's gigantic and it's a tiny little river, or it's a little blue vein of blue liquid. You know what I mean? Like I don't think it'll give the impression that you're looking for. Reziel, sorta here. All right. Stinky Diver. No, it's not too orange peely. I just know there's enough grit that a dry brush, maybe even a wash, would pick that up. Okay. Yeah, if it's not really that badly textured, I mean, then I really wouldn't worry about it. And maybe you don't want to do dry brushing. But if it's a whole bunch of models and you want to work your way through, then yeah, you're going to, yeah. I mean, again, like these things, there's all these variables that, what is your end goal, and will this possible solution even be the right fit for you, right? So, Lone Goat 81 also depends where it is on the model. Could always make it look like mud or dirt if it's lower, or perhaps battle damage if it's higher up. Yeah, I'm trying to think of which comment he's responding to, but I think he's responding to Stinky's stippling issue. I think that's what he's referring to. I don't know. Ghost Starman Deluxe, looking good. Yeah. Kevin Cabal. Oh, the Space Marine, yeah. Kevin Cabal, I'm painting a pile of first edition metal Eldar Aspect Warriors with contrast paints. I also bought the fluorescent pink and green golden high flow paints, so glowing eyes for all. Very cool. Pics. Send pics, Kev. Send pics. Send pics. Lone Goat 81. A water flow at that scale usually appears clear, so it would kind of look like a slug went by. Right, exactly. Well, again, like I was mentioning, the deeper the color goes, to the viewer, the impression is the deeper the water. So if it was just the edge of a water system, very light blues and maybe hints of green kind of thing, and then just the surface, you can even tint the resin on that surface. There's many options, and it's just really what what effect you're looking to go for, kind of thing. Pirate Captain Daniel. Kris, did you speak to your ISP? You know what? No, I didn't. I meant to. I had all week to do it. I just was busy with other shit, and so no. But I noticed the other day that things were going kind of back to normal, and I actually didn't do a test even before today. I just kind of just did it, and I don't know. Everything seems to be okay. I mean, my live feed seems a little delayed, but I think it's because I was doing something goofy. But yeah, either way, I don't know. I mean, like, as far as the connection is concerned, I mean, like, I'm not seeing any drop frames, knock on wood, but yeah. Tyler Bortel. Kris, have you had any experience with Turbo Dork's Bubblegum Pink? Most of the colors have worked great for me, but this one really isn't working. Bubblegum Pink. I should have it. Have I used it? No. I have not actually used all the new colors. Bubblegum Pink. Where would that be? Would that be in my pink area? Oh, Bubblegum. Bubblegum Crisis. Is that the one we're talking about there? Yeah. No, I have not used it. Other than, I think, when I was doing, like, the test spoons. And I was using it through the airbrush, so it wasn't, a huge amount of issues. I think the one that would really kind of get most people is Motherload. But, as long as you lay it on top of white, it looks fantastic, And maybe bubblegum, it goes with that. Now, like I said, I haven't had any issues with it. Now, when I did it on the spoons, I'm pretty sure everything went down just fine. So, one, make sure that you're shaking the paints up really, really well. Shake them for a good solid 2-3 minutes. But I'm sure you probably are. If it does feel like the paint is just not sitting right, maybe bad batch, but because Turbo Dork is somewhat of a small operation, I think that the quality control would be fairly good, so I don't think that would be an issue. The other one you might want to try is maybe not doing it on top of black, maybe do it on a dark red or even like a dark purple or something along those lines. Try that. The other thing is as well is putting it on a gloss surface beforehand to get the most out of that reflectivity of the metallic flakes, right? Tyler Bortel, I put the pink over black gloss and it was just gold, so I tried over white and it was just pink. Well, it is a very pinky metallic. And it on top of gold or on top of black, and it looked gold. I've not had that issue. 2 seconds here. Let me see if I can find the spoons. Okay, well, it wasn't a question of if I could find the spoons. It was just if I could reach the spoons. And sorry, I'm just quickly going through. I'm going to see if I can find the color, as it were. Have all the... Ooh, that's a nice one, eh? I like that one. Purple blue. Anyway, that one's Motherload right there. That's Motherload. Probably can't see it on the camera very well, but you got to do it on top of white. Oh, okay. I think... Or no, this is a color shift. Because Bubblegum Crisis is not a color shift, right? It's just... Yeah, it's kind of noisy. No, that's not it. That's a color shift. That's gold. Wait, is that bubblegum? This might be bubblegum. 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 This is another one I like too. This one here. It's got this purple blue. It's pretty. I don't know. I don't know if the camera picks that up. I can't see it on my screen here. Hold on. Let me see here. Can I see it on my screen? Sorry, I'm just going to play with my screens here for a second. You can kind of see the color shifting. You can see on this side, there's a little bit of purple from the light over here, as opposed to the light that's like right in front of me. But you can see there's a little bit of purple cast. Anyway, if you've not played with color shift paints, they're really, really fun. These are Turbo Dork colors. Yeah, this one's really fun. Look at that. You see a blue and a purple at the same time. That's really fun. Yeah, that one's really nice. This one here is, like on camera, it looks like a blue and a purple. Whereas to my eye, yeah, it's a blue and a purple. And I think this one here is a bubblegum. Now on camera here, it looks very purpley. Is that, or is it a color? Is bubblegum a damn color shift? I didn't think it was. Maybe this is bubblegum. It's all freaking me out now. Maybe I didn't lay bubblegum down. No, because I did Motherload, and that was the new paints. I did these new paints, right? It's got a bunch of these colors going on. That's a fun one too. They're so pretty. Anyway, so maybe this one. Maybe this one is the bubblegum. That's kind of dark though. But if it is kind of light, then it might, yeah, you know what? I honestly can't tell which one's bubblegum. I don't remember. And I didn't label those. So, oh shit, I just messed those all up. Oh well. Oh well. So yeah. Make sure the paint is very well shaken. If it seems like the colors are doing all sorts of weird things on the surface, I kind of doubt manufacturing errors. It's possible, but because the operation is pretty small, I'm not convinced of that one. And if you're laying it on a nice glossy surface, the metallics should show up well. Are you doing it by hand or are you doing it by airbrush? If you're doing it by hand, yeah, you do have to lay a few layers down. Whereas doing it by airbrush, you can get it, you can do a couple passes and build up a decent layer. But even with the airbrush, you can still kind of mess the effect up because you can actually lay too much metallic down and it actually kind of starts to look kind of matte. And so you can actually kind of mess that one up. So, if you're doing it by hand brush though, you might want to put down more than one layer, and you're doing it all by airbrush. Well, maybe try it on top of, like, if it's not the color that you want, then do the underpainting. Take something like, say for example, Screamer Pink or Emperor's Children or something about that level of color. Lay that on the surface, and then just do a thin layer of that bubblegum. Or try it, just a little bit. But is bubblegum a color shift? I didn't think it was. I can't tell. If it's a color shift, then it sat on top of the black gloss coat fine. So, I don't know. Tyler says, Vallejo gloss black primer worked great for all the other ones, but this one was truly just gold. Yeah. Maybe it was a mislabeling. I don't know. Did the paint actually look like bubblegum? Because I know, like, the sticker, it has that hot pink kind of look to it. So, yeah. Neat idea. Give it a go. Okay. Yeah. Give it a shot. Yeah. Vivian Wolf. I missed Chris's soothing voice. Well, thank you. Shadizo. Hey, Kris. My wife got me a master airbrush a year ago. I love it, but ready to take my airbrushing to the next level. I'm looking at a Badger 105. Is that a good one, or what do you suggest? I like the Badger 105. Yeah, the Patriot 105. That's an excellent brush. Got you a master airbrush. I'm not sure what a master airbrush is, like where that's from. If that's master, like Testers Masters product line, or if that's a brand name. But the Patriot 105 is a very solid brush. But if you've been airbrushing for about a year, I don't know. Like I'm not sure what a master airbrush is. Like, is that a brand name or is that a company name? If you're looking to get more precise, then definitely a Patriot, or yeah, the Patriot 105 is a good brush, but it might not be as fine a needle as you may want to go. In which case, you might want to go with the Patriot Extreme Patriot 105, which you can put different needle in, or you can go with a Renegade Chrome or Sotar 2020. Both are from Badger, and both are really good precision brushes. So, you know, those three brushes. I have all three. I've used all three. The Sotar I'm still playing with, but I still like my Renegade Chrome. My Renegade Chrome works very, very well. I've had that one for ages. So, yeah. Whereas the Sotar 2020 is I think it's just more of a comfort thing. I think just because I have the Renegade Chrome and it's the same size needle, and it does what I need to do. So where am I? Stinky Diver. All right, last time I'll gum up your show today. Found some 3000 grit foam. Got the panel smoother than a baby's ass. And didn't even take off the top layer of paint. Okay, so you've already tried it. While we were all talking. You tried it. Awesome. Excellent. Monster Judas Bubblegum wasn't the first batch of paint releases of the new batch. It was the second wave of colors, I believe, and it can be used over white or black with different results for each undercoat. Yeah, well under black or white will yield you different results because the way TurboDork does their paint, their binding medium is mostly clear. So, if you lay it on top of black, you get a really strong color. If you lay it on top of white, you get a really bright color with lots of metallic shine. And if you laid it on top of any other color, in the rainbow, you're going to get varying effects. Like Motherlode, you could pretty much lay that on top of any color and you'll get that color with the metallic sheen. And it'll look really cool. Try it. You'll see what I mean. Raziel, maybe. Shadzo, Master is a cheap airbrush from Amazon. Oh, okay. If you're using just a cheap airbrush, Master. Do we have links on that? Do we have links on it, people? Amazon. I'll just say Master airbrush. Master airbrush. Oh, okay. Yeah, if you go with the Patriot 105, yeah. It looks like... I see this one here, Master Airbrush for cake decorating, and it looks like it's got like the hobby airbrush, which is just a straight up nozzle. It's got the siphon feed cup on underneath it, like the jar. Yeah. I'm looking at it. It looks pretty comparable to a 105. I'm seeing one here, Master Performance G233 Pro set, and it comes with a 0.2, 0.3, and a 0.5 millimeter needle for only $70. It doesn't sound like a horrible deal. I'm not crazy about how the cup, though. I guess it makes more sense for the cup to kind of flow back like that. It's just, I'm used to the way the Patriot, right? It just kind of, and I guess the Patriot is on a slight angle as well. Yeah, I didn't really Wow, I can't even talk today. Really realized that the cup was on an angle. I always thought the cup was on straight on, but no, it is on an angle. Oop. Where am I here? Where am I? Oh, why? Sound like Mr. Magoo in here. Oh, I'm lost. Lone Goat. It is a color shift, and going by the web pictures, it does look mostly pink. Oh, it is a color shift? Okay, then yeah. I laid it on top of black, and so if it is a color shift, then one of these, then this pink, I would have to say is hold on, I gotta see if I'm framed up right here. Then yeah, if it is a color shift, then it's a slight gold, and that pink, and then I would assume this is bubblegum, because this almost looks like that level of bubblegummy pinky purple kind of color, and it's kind of subdued. Now this again was laid on top of black. If you're seeing mostly gold, maybe you might have laid it down too heavy. That's a possibility. You maybe laid it down too heavily. That's entirely possible. Maybe you laid just a little too much down, or you oversaturated the area when you were laying the paint down. Essentially laying too much paint down, of course, but because the way you can end up killing that color shift is being too far away or being too close in when you're applying it by airbrush. Because if you're too close in, then you end up just laying too much paint down, and then you end up pushing it around. You'll see the paint being moved by the airflow. You're too close. If you see it getting laid on and it's kind of dusty and it looks like you laid down that gloss surface and you're laying the paint down and it looks matte, like it looks frosted, you're too far away. There is a sweet spot of like just a few inches. There's a sweet spot of a few inches, and that's where you want to be. It takes a bit of practice, and you know what? Applying it onto the spoons. When doing airbrushing, and it's probably why so many people do it, using the spoons is a good analog for testing out how to lay the paint down, because it's a good time to test out your air pressure and your distance, your working distance, right? It allows you to work that surface, and it also gives you, a curvature, it's not a hard curvature, it's really kind of a sloping, which can give you an idea on how the paint is going to sit on a surface. And, I think using the spoons, and I think that's probably why everybody does it, because they're just a good analog for demonstrating, the paint and testing out the paint, on a surface. Reziel, I had good luck with the Green Stuff World Color Shift paint. Yeah, I've not tried the Green Stuff World paint. I haven't heard anybody say anything negative about it, so I can only assume that it's a decent paint. So, you're not going to hear me go, "Oh, Green Stuff World paint sucks ass." You're not going to hear that from me, because I've never tried it. The other products that I have tried from Green Stuff World have been pretty clever, and so yeah. Peep Eater, just for S&G. Oh, shits and giggle. I airbrushed blue raspberry, a blue-purple shift, over silver metallic primer. It gave a very pearlescent white result with faint hints of color. Very interesting result. Yeah, when you lay, especially with the Turbo Dork paints, when you lay the metallics down on top of anything other than black or dark color, you will see that under painting come through, because Turbo Dork uses a clearer medium binder with their pigment. So, yeah. You can go all sorts of different places. I mean, okay, imagine. Here we go. Boom. Let's play with this one. Take one of their solid metallic colors. Let's say, for example, Cool Ranch or Dabba-Dee. You know what I mean? That darker blue tone. Metallic, it's just a straight up solid metallic color. Bang, we lay that down. Then we take a color like blue raspberry, and then just very lightly put the upper tone, or just put a thin layer on the upper half of the whatever we're painting. And you should see that nice solid blue is solid no matter which way you look at it. But then under certain lights, you'll see that purpley shine on, the raised areas, or, you know what I mean? Like imagine, with the airbrush, we gloss black the entire model. Then we hit it with, a solid metallic. And then from the very top, we do a zenith of a color shift, lay a nice even layer just from a very top down type of situation. And that would yield a very interesting result. Hell, I mean, you could even get a fake color shift look by using, say, a color like Motherlode on top of a solid blue like that, where it would give you the blue at almost every direction you look at it, but then you get like a hard light on it. And because with the Motherlode, it's designed to be very clear, that you'll see the Motherlode, I think, pearlesces mostly with greens. I think there's a lot of when I look at it, always see a lot of greens coming back. Where's Motherlode? Where is it? Shit, I can't find it. Son of a... Come on. There it is. So let's see here. Can we get... Yeah, see, you don't really see it on the camera very well. If I come back from the light a bit, you can kind of see there's a bit of a green cast. See, when I hold it really close, yeah, you don't see squat. Unless... Okay, you know what? I'm going to play with my camera here for a sec here. That's right. All this time, and Kris is going to play with the camera. I'm going to do this. Let's go this. Let's see if we can do this live. See if we turn this down. Yeah, there we go. See, there's a kind of a green metallic-y glow. Let me come back from the camera a bit. Yeah, see, if you look at this light source. This light source, you kind of see a bit of a blue cast. But from that light, you'll see there's a green. And that's Motherlode. And you can lay this down on a surface, and it'll just pearlesce with, a bit of a green tinge. Now I have kind of a blue light above me, so... Actually, it's not even blue. There we go. Now it's blue. Hey, you see there's... See above me, there's 3 lights. One's blue now. But anyway, yeah, so that one there, that's casting a bit of green. And that's what Motherlode does. Let me see. Let's turn this back up a bit. All right? Good enough. Turn this off. There we go. Okay. So, lots of stuff you can do. Tons of directions. Which is why I have been having so much fun lately. In the last year or so. Playing with metallics and just, just having fun. Shadizzo. I'll say that. Shadizzo. Kris, what are you working on right now? Anything fun? I'm working on this show. Yeah, there are a few things I'm working on. I'm working on more fresh tip videos, answering, people's questions, stuff like that. And there is a project I'm working on, which will be revealed in due time. Paul Legion. Hey, Kris, do you have any tips on improving my Mechanicus models? I think the paint scheme is missing something. I have some pictures of them up on Instagram under Legion Miniatures. Okay. G Squared, episode 270. Kris visits the blue light zone. The blue light zone? What? Stinky Diver, listening to you guys describing color shift paints out of context always sounds like you're tripping on acid. Yeah, a little bit, eh? Just like, whoa. The bubblegum is freaking me out, man. Oh, whoa. Whoa. Anyway. I don't know why I always bust into an auto voice, but I do. Lone Goat, it tastes orange oddly. It tastes orange oddly? Oh, good God. Sir Peanut Butter, wonder what Motherlode would do to black. It would predominantly be quite black, but you would see the green flakes in the light in a direct light source. But it would mostly look black. Like if you were looking at it without a direct light bouncing off its surface, you would see mostly black. You'd probably see a slight haze to it, but otherwise it would be mostly black. And then once the light casts onto it, you'll see the metallic shine, and the metallics will come out on the surface. It's a very interesting effect. And it's a great way to do some, for example, it'd be great. Well, somebody showed it. They showed it on last week's episode. Using it on the wings, using Motherload on the wings. But I mean, you could also use it on the wings. You could even use it probably on a clear. You know what? I haven't even tested it on a clear. We should do that. Let's test Motherload out on a clear, like on a clear plastic spoon. Because that would be really fun to go for that really insect wing-like look. Because that would be really cool. You know? But yeah, I can't remember who sent it in last week. They're demon prints, and they did Motherload on the wings. Was it Ghost Starman Deluxe? Was it you? I don't know. It was somebody anyway. But anyway. Yeah. But there's all sorts of effects you can go for. Just applying these metallics down on a surface. Even, taking even, for example, regular gold paint. You can even try this at home. Regular gold paint. Whatever gold paint you're using. Okay? You probably normally lay black down and then lay the gold on top. But you could also take a color like a dark purple, lay that down and put the gold on top. And that'll give the gold a different look. It actually gives it kind of this antique gold, kind of old gold kind of look. It'll appear almost rose in the shadows and such. Try it. It's very, very fun. Ghost Server Deluxe, it wasn't me. It wasn't you. It was somebody last week. Showed the Demon Prince, had Motherload on the wings. It was somebody. I know it was somebody. G Squared, Red Light District. Can we go Red Light District? There we go. There's red lights. Maybe we'll do it. It's like red alert. Red alert. Condition. Yeah, that's like in the submarines when you go condition blue. Anyway. Ghost Star, I just thought it was cool though. Yeah. Oh no, it is excellent. And I think really. Oh, it's Jabba's Left Nut who sent it. Okay, it was Jabba's Left Nut. It was me. Okay. It was Jabba's Left Nut. Yeah, sent a Demon Prince and did Motherload on the wings. And, on the camera, kind of hard to see, but I know what the effect looks like. And so it wasn't a too big a leap for me to, imagine how it looks in person. And in person, it probably looks really kick-ass. I would imagine. But for some of you out there who have never used any of these colors, yeah, you're like, okay, big whoop. It's a metallic, But once you try them out, it's a lot of fun. Man, you try Motherload on top of like a fluorescent. It would probably knock the fluorescence down just a bit, but it would give you that fluorescent glow with a metallic-y sheen. Go for all sorts of crazy ass effects. Man, I have not, even with all the colors available in the world, I've not tried out every permutation of color. I don't know if anybody ever has. I don't even know if that's possible. There's just too many variables. And so, feel free to experiment. And, I sound like a broken record at times, but, don't be afraid to try something out. And even if it fails and doesn't look the way you thought it might look, that's okay. That's you learned something there, and now so you can try it a different way, and every failure is the path to succeeding. Every failure, and you're not going to succeed unless you fail. So try and fail, because you will succeed at some point. So don't be afraid. Lone Goat. How would you go about for a hammered steel look? It all depends, I guess. If I was doing it in just straight opaque colors, doing it in a non-metallic way, then you paint it in such a fashion. If you're going with metallic colors and you wanted a hammered steel look, you'd kind of have to rely on the model surface to provide it. But if you're doing it on something like Space Marines, the easiest way I can think of, if you were, pretty close, Stinky, yeah, stippling, yeah, definitely. But I wouldn't go with like too dark a silver. So, for example, if we were staying within GW's side of colors, say you went lead belcher, or no, iron breaker, the mid-tone silver. That was your base tone. That was, what your main color was. And then taking a sponge and taking lead belcher, and possibly even, no, I'd probably stay about that dark. I would try it out with that. And then with a sponge, and then sponge very, very quickly and quite liberally with that on the surface. Not too much paint, just enough to create little tiny divots and dimples everywhere. And that would give you a slight impression of, many little dings on that surface. Another one, too, to add on top of that is, you could do your entire process. Lay down a base coat of iron breaker, stipple in, a bit of lead belcher, say at shadow points on the outer skirts of areas and stuff like that, and then take, like Rune Fang steel and stipple that on the high points to create your highlights. And that might give you some really great color depth. Now, when I'm talking about using the sponge technique, if you've not done it before, there's lots of videos on it. I can create a video on stippling. I can create a video even on this particular question. It'd be kind of fun to show anyway. Because I don't know if I've ever shown stippling with the metallics to get this kind of look, kind of hammered steel kind of look. Because that's kind of a quick way of doing it. Because otherwise, you just paint it, you'd lay silver down and then take darker tones and then just individually paint in all the little dimples and properly shade them all so that when you were looking at it on film or on the screen, you would see, oh yeah, look, it's hammered metal, right? And it looks like hammered metal. But if you're going for a quick kind of a sketch kind of thing and you just want it applied to, a whole army, yeah, using a sponge and doing it quickly like that is most likely best way to go and will yield results. And you're not going to kill yourself trying to, paint individual little dimples all over the place, right? So, yeah. Send me an email about that question. And you know what? Maybe I will film it. Maybe I'll even film it. Maybe if I'm feeling really ambitious, I might even film it today. If I've got time. Sir Peanut Butter, I've had fun with Red Rum and Emerald Nightmare, so we'll definitely get more Turbo Dark. Yeah, I like the Turbo Dark colors. Once you understand the characteristics of the colors, you can figure out all sorts of uses for them. And like I said, because the body is, the acrylic binder for the pigment is quite transparent. Yeah, I'm all about transparencies these days. That's why I really like the contrast paints, Citadel Contrast. They're just really fantastic because there's the transparency and it allows you to play with color and tone and, the metallics the same way. You create different effects, create different blends. Man, there's all sorts of different directions you can go with these colors, man. I mean, like, with any new paints and new stuff like this, it's just an opportunity to play and experiment and try something out. You never know what you'll hit upon. Stinky Diver, tiny stipples with different silvers. Yeah, I thought it was a really good idea. Yeah, pretty much. Job is left nut. Next time I'm going to put spots of clear colors thinned down before using the mother load to try and get insect wings. Yeah, you can try that. I think next time though, if you're going to do it for the wings, you can probably still do it on mother load right now. I'd probably seal it first and then try almost like a pin washing to separate the membranes from like the joints. Just create a bit of separation there. Probably use like something like a darker green or something just to kind of go with, the green of the wings and, the green metallic of the membranes. Just an idea. Lone Goat. Thank you for the advice. No problem. Stinky Diver. On a small surface, I feel like hammered metal paint effect would just look like white noise. I've seen Age of Sigmar models with super exaggerated created surface. Yes, it all depends on scale as well. Yeah, definitely. You know, I think if you like, especially when painting and you're going for a particular look, and you do raise an interesting point there, Stinky. When you're going for a particular look, scale does matter. And if you're painting it for display and photography, then you definitely want to take the care to really do it. But if you're doing it just for, arm's length, because you're going to be playing with the pieces, at that scale, when you're painting the effect, on kind of going for that kind of look, really the mantra, less is more. Less is more. So when doing it, you don't want to just, hammer it onto a surface. You want to do it very deliberately in points. Be very selective where you're laying it down. And that'll give you your desired effect, especially at kind of arm's length when most of us are normally looking at these models, right? So Nick Dumont, I would like to see a hammered steel tutorial. Yeah, well maybe I will. Yeah, maybe I'll create one. Just to quickly show you guys just kind of like what I'm talking about. You know what? Like when I'm talking about something that I've maybe not made a video of, maybe we got to start laying down markers so I know and where I can go back and, okay, we talked about that. Never showed it before. And then, demonstrate it. Because essentially that's what fresh tips are, right? It's answering questions, it's demonstrating things, it's, it's helping you guys. It's all about helping you guys. Stinky Diver, while playing MC Hammer. Whoa, here's the name. I don't know how to pronounce any of that. It's D30X1R1. Oh, frick, I give up. Have you done a video about plasma gun light effects? Creating the glow or actually lighting the plasma gun? Like using an LED? Because I don't think I've ever created a video showing the use of LEDs because that is outside my realm. It's something I'm learning. And as far as demonstrating plasma gun glow, I've shown it a few times. I don't know if I've shown it on my channel. Have I shown the plasma gun glow? But again, these are excellent. Yeah. Send me an email saying, Kris, show us the plasma gun glow. If I haven't shown it on my channel, then I'll make a video. Yeah, I'll do it. Dare me? You dare me to do it? Are you daring me? Yeah, I'll do it. I'll show you. How do you want it shown? You want it shown by airbrush? Do you want it shown by glazing? Do you want it shown by blending? Do you want to show it even by dry brushing it? What particular color do you want? You know what I mean? I mean, we can go through all the variables and just do them. Be a couple weeks of plasma glow. Everybody's like, Kris, enough with the plasma glow. Here in this 10th video, I will show you how to paint plasma glow again. Lone Goat, it's on a large fire giant. Oh, okay. So it's a fairly large model then. The stippling still would work. I'm not sure what model that is, so I can't say whether or not, even if it's just like small bit. And again, I mean, are you doing it for display or is it just a game piece, right? So, a lot of variables. Stinky Diver. Less is more is definitely applicable here. I've seen so many good tank paint jobs just ruined by so much weathering. It looks like the thing was rolled out of a scrapyard and looks derelict. That could have been the effect the person wants to go for, though. It's like a really beaten up kind of look. Again, weathering it's pretty subjective, and yeah. But yeah, less is more. I like, just a bit of weathering on vehicles, especially if it's game pieces. A bit of weathering. But I mean, if you're going for, a diorama or something like that, I mean, and that's just rusted to hell, right? Part of the theme, whatever the, story is that, you're doing. But yeah. Reziel, Kris, I'm getting ready to start looking at enamel. You're getting ready to start looking. You're getting ready to start looking. So you're getting ready. I'm not looking yet, but I'm getting ready. And I'm going to start looking. Right? I'm just ripping on you, Reziel. I'm getting ready to start looking at enamels and lacquers to paint Gunpla. Have any thoughts or video ideas about those paints? What, lacquers or enamels? Do I have any thoughts or video ideas around those paints? What do you want to know? It's a different ball game. I mean, like, you have Tamiyas, which act kind of like enamels, but they're acrylics. They say they're water based actually too, but they're more alcohol based. Anyway, enamels like Tester's enamels, Humbrol. Man, I even use Spastics. I like Spastics. That's airbrush and just lays down. Freaking great. Have any thoughts? What do you want to know? Is there a question there? Any video ideas around those paints? I have a few videos showing like Spastics. I've done videos using enamels and such. Just make sure you get some lacquer thinner. Do I have my bottle of lacquer thinner around? I do not. Lacquer thinner. Oh, even nail polish remover. That's another good one. Not that you really want to use it on the model, especially if you're working with styrene plastic. You don't want to use any acetone-based products, but, you never know. So, what? Anyway, this name I'm not even gonna try. It's a bunch of letters and numbers. Anyway, I don't own an airbrush, so a glow effect you can paint with brush. Okay, so do it by brush. Yeah, I mean I'll make videos on it. I've shown them before, but they're behind a paywall, so I'll show them again. Sure. G squared at Kris. D30 is DNA spelled in leet. D30 is DNA. I don't see the connection. D30 is DNA. I don't get it. George over on Twitch. Fixin' to get ready. You fixin' to get ready? You're fixin'? Oh, you're fixin', are you? I don't know where we're going with any of this stuff. Let's do an email. Because we can and we shall. So, if you're wearing headphones, turn them up or down. But here it comes. Email time. It's email time. Is it done? Oh shit, it's done. This one is from our good buddy, Alan. Alan says... sorry, sending my daughter a message. I need coffee. Alan says, hi, Kris. Love your work and tutorials. Keep it up. This is my first attempt at airbrushing. I'm using a Sparmax Max 4 airbrush. Would love to hear your thoughts on my first attempt from Alan. So, let's have a look at Alan's first airbrush attempt. Now, I'm going to say... Oop, shit. There we go. Let's go with this one. Yeah, let's go with this one, I guess. So far, I mean, I don't see anything that's jumping out at me like, oh my god. Oh, come on. Oh, for God's sakes. It's going to do the sideways thing on me. Arg. One of the big things when doing multiple colors on a model surface, such as you're going for here, I'm not seeing anything wrong, but where you could get, where you can tighten up a bit, and that is your masking. Especially when you're going for multiple colors. Like, I really like the kind of gold you got going on the armor here. Looks very cool. It almost has like this stippled look. Did you hand paint that? No, that's an airbrushed effect. I don't even think that's deliberate, is it? That looks like, or is that deliberate? You gotta be careful what you're doing, because I can see where the paint's been nicked here and there. Like that. I'm seeing like this edging on that shoulder there, and that looks like that's deliberate. Can you paint the model not on its base? I assume that's what you're doing. Be mindful of the direction in which you're spraying. Kind of like light. That's why airbrush and OSL are just kind of hand in hand as far as, you know, a lot of people using it to achieve that. Is because the paint travels in a straight line, as it were. I think just masking your areas, just being mindful of where you're masking your areas and and what you're doing. But it looks like a lot of those edges were pretty darn good. I didn't see any of the obvious kind of newer airbrush mistakes, you know, spider legs or, you know, anything like that, or even really kind of thick paint. I didn't see anything like that. Oh wait. Oh, Alan sent me an email about been loving the fresh tips. I was wondering if you could do one in Harlequin diamonds. Thanks for the awesome content. Keep it up and keep watching. Oh, and I will keep watching. You truly have been an inspiration and have kept me pushing myself. From Alan. So Alan had sent two. So I'm not seeing the obvious things, you know, with the airbrushing. You know what I mean? Like those kind of usual kind of mistakes. The paint looks like it's flowing for the most part pretty well for you. The masking, just, you know, being very careful where you're masking stuff off. Be mindful of how the spray travels in a straight line, because then that way, you know, when, like, say for example on the flesh areas, they felt a little flat, whereas if you went with a darker blue and went with a lighter blue, and if you were being a little bit more controlled as to the direction and where you were spraying, so if you had those other areas masked off, it would be no problem to kind of spray a bit of a zenithal type of highlighting downwards onto the surfaces. Just those kind of things is what I'm talking about. It's really just, that's the big thing about airbrushing. It's really not about painting. It's just about getting your consistency down, your air pressure, and your masking, and how you're masking, what you're using to mask, how much time you're taking to spend to mask off areas. And so, yeah. Where am I? Stinky Diver, there's like 5,000 OSL tutorials out there too. Yeah, there's a ton. Razia, I was interested in what makes the basic techniques and mediums different from working with acrylics. Looking at auto model paints like All Clad or Japanese brands like Mr. Hobby. I've used Mr. Hobby. I've not used All Clad because I was at one point when I was looking at chrome paints, I was looking up All Clads. But what basic techniques and mediums are different? Well, the mediums are different. Technique is if you know how to handle your brush. Now with lacquer based and acrylic or enamel, with those kind of paints, I often work with synthetic brushes because you're using oftentimes solvent to remove the paint. But otherwise, the paint. It's just paint. Just how you clean it. And oftentimes they dry pretty fast, so you don't often have a lot of working time. There are some things that slow that drying process down. Oftentimes using these enamels and such, they often give off fumes, so, you know, make sure you're working in a nice ventilated area. But as far as like brush techniques are concerned, it's just paint. It's not like, you know, it's not like the leap you make from brush painting to airbrushing. Brush painting, oil paints, lacquer-based, water-based acrylics, watercolor. Although watercolor is a bit more technique, brush technique. But for the most part, it's paint on a surface. Airbrushing is kind of a different ballgame because you're not actually directly touching the material. And so, yeah, there's not that kind of feedback as far as what you're doing, right? But otherwise, you know, yeah. And I mean, if you've never used them and you're thinking of, typically whenever you're moving into other paints, there's a reason for it. There's something lacking in what you're currently doing that you think switching to this other paint will make a difference or improve or get you to your desired result. It's the only reason I jump paint lines. Is because one paint line doesn't have something I'm looking for, doesn't finish with a particular way I like to look. You know what I mean? Like, there's multiple reasons why to switch paint lines. If you're looking just to play with a whole bunch of paints, well, then just play with them. Buy them and play with them. Find out. Making mistakes is how you're going to learn. I can sit here and tell you what not to do, but until you actually do it, that's not going to, you know, form little cement bonds in your brain. I mean, it's not going to happen. So, I mean, just play with the paint. Just play with it. It's not rocket science, man. It's just painting. G squared. D30 is a long name you refuse to try and butcher. What? Stinky Diver. DNA, short for deoxyribonucleic acid. Yeah. I know what DNA is short for. But that's not... You say, yeah, see. My name is the full name of DNA in Swedish, spelled in gamer letters. Right, but that... I mean, I can read... I can read leet, but if that's how you say DNA in Swedish, then I would never have gotten it. Oh, I see it now. Fuck. I see. Is it deoxy or dioxy? I thought it was dioxy. Deoxyribonucleic acid. Anyway. Okay. Stinky Diver. Looks like Tyrannid stole Bulbasaur's biomass. I don't know what the hell that means. I don't know what that means. Alan Hayes is here. Thanks, guys. I will try masking next time. What sort of thing should I use? Oh, for masking? Well, you can, most readily available, you can find painter's tape. You can go into the hardware store and you get painter's tape. One of my favorites is Silly Putty. You can just go into the kids' toy section and find Silly Putty. That's great for masking. Doesn't stick to the paint job or anything like that. It's very organic, and it's great for doing organic shapes. There are some products out there that are essentially masking, or a Silly Putty for masking, airbrushing. You can find out there. What else is there for masking? There's a lot of options. I mean, masking, you could take a piece of paper, cut your shape into it, and use that to mask. Masking is whatever tool you need, and you can use it to mask. Even your hand. Like sometimes when I'm using a model, I'll use my thumb and I'll block off an area and I'll spray and I'll just hit that area. Thank you, honey.
Yep. What?
What do you mean, what?
What, bro?
Bro? Don't bro me, bro. Okay, bro. So for those kind of things for masking, you can use all sorts of stuff. Hell, I'm sure you'll figure out a way to mask something that maybe somebody else hasn't thought of. But anything can be a mask. Masking is just simply the technique of blocking something in front of something while you lay more color down and block off an area. Stinky Diver was referring to the model in email, Kris. The delay makes for a great befuddled reaction from you, so I regret nothing. Oh, is that what we're talking about? Oh, the model. The Bulbasaur's biomass. Gotcha. I need more coffee. Thank you, honey. That was the last of it, eh?
No, he's still like probably half.
Can you stop it and start it again, just to reheat the coils, so that because
Yeah, I'll try.
I mean you'll try, you'll try, do not have kids. They said it'll be great. They said. Oh man, let's do an email. If you're wearing headphones, turn them up or down because here it comes. Email time. Email time. Oh, the music's done. This one is from our good buddy, Monster Judas. Hey, Kris. Here's my model from the Lucky Dip painting competition that my local games workshop is holding tomorrow. A refresh of the rules of the competition. I had to pick a model blind from a box and 3 paints blind from a box. You also had 1 reroll where you could either pick another model or another paint and make your choice. The 3 colors had to be the main color scheme for the model, but other colors were allowed. The model I chose was Karnak, which I used my reroll for, as I originally pick a 40k model and don't collect to play 40k. The paints I chose were Contrast Ultramarine, Contrast Cygor Brown, and Nilic Oxide. Here are the results. I'm trying to beat 3rd place at my store, as the last 2 competitions I entered ever chosen and a single model Soul Wars release competition. I came in 3rd both times. Regards, the Monster Judas, Andrew. Oh, and I just realized I didn't update the photos I took, but I have since fixed the chip paint on the very top of the tail. Sent from an iPhone. Fuck sakes. And so here is Monster Judas's model using Contrast, Cygor, and Nilic Oxide. I think that's quite a challenge. I like the icon on the hindquarter. I like that effect going on there. The mouths look cool. Now, were you using the Nilic Oxide to do the edge highlighting, like on the fleshy membranes and on the forehead? Is that what you were doing? I think for the base, it looks like you were going for a bit of a glow on the base. I think you could have pushed the color on the rocks a little bit darker so that it would help that bright point stand out a little bit more. I like it. It looks fun. The painting is really interesting on the flesh, though. Like I see, like the little high points. Now, were you using Nilic Oxide as the highlighting color? Is that what's going on there? Is that what's going on? Was that the last picture? That was the last picture. Oop, yeah. Oop, oop. There we go. So, thank you, Andrew, for sending that in. Awesome stuff. I'm sure you'll place again, because it's very interesting. Now, again, like I said, were you using the Nilic Oxide as a highlight? Stinky Diver, tutorial on painting coffee coils. Coffee coils? What's coffee coils? I don't know what coffee coils are. Nathaniel, greetings, Kris and fellow monkeys. Good greetings, Nathaniel. That looks dope. Stinky, given that what you drew, I don't know how you could have done better. Yeah, like, I mean, as far as how that beast looks, I think it looks great. Yeah, I'm just curious. Like, did you lay the contrast blue down and then the nilic oxide, or did you lay nilic oxide and then contrast? Because those are both valid ways to go about it. Because with the nilic oxide, were you doing edging with the nilic oxide and just laying it on? So many questions. Are you still here, Monster Judas? Are you still here? Oh, you are here. No, the highlights are Calgar blue. Oh, okay. Okay. See, I was thinking you laid the contrast blue down and then used nilic oxide to highlight. Or even added nilic oxide to the contrast to make a highlight color. Because you could have did that as well. You could have also thinned down the blue, laid it down onto the surface, nilic oxide the highlights, and then thinned down the blue again and laid another one down and marry all those transitions and allow it to build into the recesses. And yeah. You could have did a whole bunch of things there, yeah. There's a whole bunch of different ways you could have painted that model with just those three colors. That sounds like a really interesting exercise. To just kind of randomly dig through your paint pot and just kind of pull up some colors and paint a model with those colors, right? That's an excellent exercise because what it does is it forces you to make choices on what colors, like how you're going to use your colors. And there was a second point. Oh, and resourcefulness on where you place it and how you achieve different things and, achieve a cohesive look. And in fact, I think that kind of thing really compels people to paint better rather than like the Golden Demon type of competition where, you just see people, because I often see it with a lot of expert painters. They paint really, really well, and they'll win an award for the model, but then the following year or years, it's something very similar. I see it with a lot, not all, but I see it with a lot of painters where, they entered a model and it was painted in a certain way and it was pretty distinct for that artist, but then all their other entries are kind of the same thing. And there's no venture from what previously won. You know what I mean? And so it seems like once they hit upon a certain thing, they just stick with it. It's almost like plateauing, but I'm not sure, I don't know. I just don't see a lot of adventure from many artists, even top artists, because are they just concerned with winning awards? Is that it? If that's it, then, whatever. I mean, because, again, I always go back to miniature painting and miniature painting as an art form. And I don't see a lot of chances being taken in the medium. It's a different discussion. Stinky Diver, good idea for a video there. Random colors and whatnot. Yeah, definitely. Oh, you mean like for me to do it? Sure. I mean, grab a model. Hell, I mean, maybe we'll do it as a group activity. Everybody just grab some random models, or I don't know. We'll make a game of it where we'll just do a whole bunch of us. Maybe there's a bunch of us on Discord, and we'll just do. Everybody just picks random colors. Either we all just pick random colors on our own, or we all say, designate a judge, and they randomize a bunch of colors, and that's what everybody's going to paint, and everybody just brings whatever crap they paint. I don't know, whatever. I mean, we can turn it into something fun. Monster Judas, the Nilic Oxide I just used on the icons and collars, but those are awesome ideas to try. The icons and the collar. Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah, see, I thought you did it like on, like I say, here, I'm going to flip back to it. Oh. I thought you did it on the brow. Yeah, see, I was thinking that like on the brow of the hound here. I thought that was the Nilic Oxide, but you're saying it's on the collar and the icons. Gotcha. Yeah, see, like, I was thinking, like, you know, a 3-color challenge. You're just using the 3 colors. That's the challenge, right? But yeah, you could have mixed that Nilic Oxide in with that blue, because you had a dark blue and a light blue. You could have went anywhere. You could have gone with this demon, completely monochromatic, from base to tail tip. You know, in just using just the contrast blue and the Nilic Oxide, and you could have painted that entire model just with those 2 colors in varying degrees. You know, could have done that. That probably would have looked very interesting as well. Dioxy. I thought it was dioxy. Deoxy? Is it deoxy? I don't know. Anyway. Pick the same colors and different paint model and paint different models. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we can go on Discord and we'll say, you know, we're just, you know, in the next couple weeks, we're going to pick 3 colors, and we'll let Grim pick 3 colors, let him roll for it, whatever, and bang, and then we all paint up a quick model. Maybe we'll do it over a day, a weekend challenge. I don't know. And it'll just be on Discord. It'll just be fun for us just to fart around with, you know? Because, you know, I don't think enough of us are having fun. I think some of us are taking this shit too seriously. And we're overthinking things. And this is just painting. It's just painting. You know? Just relax. It's hobby time. We're supposed to be having fun with this stuff. Nick Dumont, heading out. Have a good day, peeps. Later, Nick. Jabba's Left Nut. Spin the bottle. Random paint challenge. Spin the bottle. Play spin the bottle. I don't know if I'd want to play spin the bottle with all these monkeys. Nathaniel, I'm game for limited random palette. Yeah, I think so. It could be. I mean, like, there's no reason you couldn't do it yourself. You know, I mean, just grab a box of paints, shake them up, reach in, grab 3 colors, pull them out, and just use them. Don't overthink it. Just, okay, bang. And paint a model, right? I think it'd be really, really fun. Terracotta, put a spinner on a color wheel. Sounds fun. A spinner on a color wheel. Yeah, it's like Twister. Use a Twister wheel. You know? But a Twister is not enough color variation. You know? But it's an excellent idea. But yeah, use the Twister wheel. Let's do that. Ghost Starman Deluxe. A weekend Discord challenge would be cool. It would definitely get me and probably a lot of other monkeys to paint a lot more models. Well, I think just getting you fired up to paint something. I think that's what a big one is just getting you guys fired up to paint something, you know? Because once you kind of get, loosened up, it's like a warm-up before a workout, right? I mean, you know, and you got to warm up. So maybe we'll treat this like a warm-up where we just, slap some paint on the model. Bang. Have a laugh, a giggle, enjoy. Okay, let's get back to our painting. You know what I mean? Like, I think it'd be a nice thing. Geofits. Kris in chat. Okay. Sure. Oh, let's do another email. This last one from Nick. What time we at? Oh, we have plenty of time to handle this. Plenty of time. Oh, I gotta do my draw. I do my draw for the patrons, for the Patreons. This email is from our good buddy Nick Dumont. Hey, Kris. Another last minute email. To be fair, I was painting these last night and this morning. Want your opinion on some color scheming? Monkey opinions also welcome. First, the Zombicide rat. I am using a Demon Prince of Nurgle. Likely gonna get the fur one more highlight. I'm gonna use a gloss washes to give it a greasy, dirty look. Not sure what I'm doing just yet on the blisters and pustules yet. Am fine taking my time on this one. I'm fine taking my time on this one. Death Guard, pretty well figured out aside from the skin. Armor is Plague Bear Flesh Contrast. 2 coats. Armor trim is Game Colors Hammered Copper. Steel will be made tarnished and rusty later. Tubes and cloth dark gray. For the skin, was thinking about going with a paler skin tone paint. Then wash with red and purple like the Obliterators from Shadowspear. Like the idea of the odd green and magenta tentacles and nugglings. Curious of your thoughts, and if you might go another way with colors I am already using. So let's have a look at this. Jeez Louise, this is a great big ass rat monster. Well, definitely the fur looks greasy. I think with the fur, before you had played the wash, you could have gave a light dry brush to the fur, just on the outer portions of the fur where it starts to kind of like meet up with the flesh areas again. Go with a lighter brown, and then apply the wash. You still could, but just for efficiency's sake. The flesh areas. Looking very cool so far. The pustules, I'm curious to see how that all goes, but this is a very work in progress. This is a pretty early work in progress, but the fur looks good. Drone, definitely, I think the flesh and purpley tentacles, I think would look very cool, especially on the green, because I know like with this Plague Bear green, it does go very browny yellow, and the purpley tones will look very cool next to that. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think like a deeper purple, even a lighter purple, magenta, even almost to a pink, for other areas would look really cool. I think the flames on the icon could be a different green. The glow on the plasma gun, I think that would look cool as like a magenta, kind of a purpley red. I think even the tentacles. I think like that, just small little areas of that, the purpley red, for tentacles, for doodads, little fleshy bits, stuff like that. I think would go a long way in creating some color variation. Yeah, like on these fleshy bits. Yeah, I definitely would probably go with like something flesh. A little bit of bruising around the pustules and things of that nature, around the straps, because the straps kind of pinch into the flesh. And then a little bit of a pinky purple for the tentacles and such. Yeah, definitely could go that route. But yeah, very, very cool. I think I'm kind of curious to see where you go with this rat dude, because that's a freaky ass looking model. Like freaky, like I'm totally freaked out. Geofits, that's a wave. Oh, the wave thing. Oh, yeah, I got you now. Jeez. Dioxy. Death Guard Pogchamp. He's a Pogchamp. Stinky Diver, your bobblehead's head looks like it's levitating because the color of the shirt against the wall looks like an alien ship from Arrival. Wait, you're saying my head looks like the alien ship from Arrival? Oh yeah, the head does look like it's just kind of floating there, right? Let's give him a tap. Oh shit! Let's give him a tap. Wake up! Wake up! He's not moving. There we go. There we go. fix my hair now. Fix my hair. Oh, yeah. This is the other one, too. I don't know how well this will show up on camera. Some of you might have seen this on Instagram. There's a light, UV light, these rocks in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and around Lake Superior, basically. You'll find these little rocks. And under fluorescent, or under UV light, a mineral called sodalite reacts to UV light and it glows. So these are just rocks you can just find. And I mean, you can tell this is an old rock because it's quite round, because rocks, obviously, that are, tumbling around lots, glaciers, stuff like that, right? I mean, get all nice and rounded like this. Like, it takes, a long time. But, let's see here. Let's see if the camera picks this up. The camera pick this up? Not really. I can see the glowing here. Let me bring in the focus. Let me change the focus again here. We're having too much fun. We're having too much fun. But that's the point, isn't it? The point's to have fun, right? It's the whole reason we're here on this rock. So, and we bring the rock up nice and close. So you can see it's a pretty standard looking rock, right? Let's see here if we can get the little bits to glow. You can kind of see it. You know what? Let me try this. I know we're just playing with shit now, right? Let me turn this way down again. See if that does anything. Okay. It's pretty hilarious that you actually can't really see the oh, wait. Yeah, you can see there's some little glowy points. The webcam actually doesn't really pick that up very well, does it? It's really interesting. It's funny how the camera does not really pick that up. Anyway, when I showed it on Instagram, you could kind of see it. The webcam, though, you know what? Maybe because it's this hard light on the front here. Hold on. Let's turn that light off. Okay, let's go nice and dark now. And can we see the glow? Kind of see a glow. No, not really. All right. Enough dicking around. Everybody's like, okay, Kris, it's not fucking working, buddy. I was giving it a try. All right? God, cut me some frickin' slack here. Oh, man. Stinky Diver Petoskey Stone? Is that what they calling it? Because I understand that this has been trademarked Uperlite. Because Upers, Upper Peninsula, right? Uper. That's from what I understand is what that has been trademarked, apparently. Uperlite. But apparently it's a fairly common stone. Just, under the UV light. Apparently the mineral sodalite fluoresces under UV light. So, yeah. Stinky Diver, what the hell? No, that's a Petoskey stone. That's a dinosaur egg or some shit. Joke's on you. Someone actually jerked off on the rock and you found it and sold it to you. Yeah, that's entirely possible as well. No, I'm definitely going to try and get that. Because like the video I posted on Instagram, that was completely dark with just the UV light. Whereas I got a couple lights going, so I think it's just a little too bright. But I mean, to the eye, you see the rock glow. You see, like... Wait a second. No, I'm just kidding. You do see it, though. George. That it? Start a new pet rock trend? It's a space alien pet rock? It could be. You don't know. You don't know. Could be a big freaking alien, man. Was that it for emails? That was it for emails. Sweet. We are all caught up. It is 13 minutes left of the show, which means that I have to do a draw. So, the draw is for Patreon subscribers who are subscribed or contributing at the non-metallic metal monkey level and the shiny monkey level. Now, with these tiers, I only have 5 patrons at that level, at both those levels, I should say. So it's a 1 in 5 chance that if you are a patron at one of those levels, your odds are pretty good of winning a model. So I'm going to go to random.org, right? Is that what it is? .org. And I am... Okay, so max 5. There we go. Okay. Can I show this? Yeah, you can see the generator over there. Perfect. Okay. So I got it 1 to 5. I probably could have... No, there's no D5s. I could have rolled a die, I suppose. Should I roll a die? How do I count for 5 spots with a single die? Because there's either D4 or D6. There's no D5s. Unless, of course... No, there's no way. So random.org. Now, I am looking at the patrons. And basically, I'm looking at Ruben Matinoff, Steve, James Dowdy, Dr. V, and then Matthew Connor. And those are who I'm currently seeing at those tiers, right? Is that who I'm seeing? Better make sure here. Yeah. So that's who I'm seeing. Okay. In that order. Which, is it alphabetical? I have no idea. I don't think so. I was going to say, is it by who's been following longer? Doesn't appear to be. So I'm just going to go 1 to 5, which is Ruben Matinoff, Steve, James Dowdy, Dr. V, Matthew Connor. Right? That's the order. That's the order. Okay? That's the order. So, I'll switch this one. Switch this window? Yeah, we'll use this window. That window's fine. So I've got it to 1 to 5. Okay? And so I laid out the order already on who's where. And so the winner of, and of course the winner, what are they going to win? Some of you might have forgotten already, or maybe just tuned in. But I'm giving away this model here. This model is what I did a while ago anyway. This was before, actually, even before the Dark Vengeance box came out. I did this model, and this model is like art scale. It's kind of a Sterngard duder. Custom shoulder pads. He's art scale, so he's not a regular Space Marine. Do I have a Space Marine handy? Do I have a Space... Oh, yeah. Let's go with this guy right here. So, regular Space Marine, right? So, here's the art scale Space Marine. Here's a regular Space Marine. And I'll kind of stand him up. Now, here, let's go this way. Fine. Okay, so let's stand them up so their toes are kind of close together. And you can see how... Let's try and line them up even. You can see how this guy is considerably bigger. He's like Primaris Marine size, essentially. So, yeah. But anyway, we're doing this guy. I'm giving this guy away because I don't need him. He was a super fun project way back in the day. I did him, but I'm giving him away. And so this is an original piece. There are no others like it. This rifle is mine. There we go. So, yeah. So, random.org is where I'm going with this. 1 to 5, because there's only 5 patrons at this particular level that will win this. I've already laid out the order. Order being... Whoop, shit. Ignore that. I clicked the wrong damn thing. Anyway. Yeah, let's just generate it. So 5. Which is... So let me switch back cameras here. I don't want to show the damn Patreon. Here we go. Number 5 is Matthew Connor. Shade 1313. You have won this model. So I'm going to send you a message momentarily for your address. And yeah. You know what? Maybe I'll do it right this moment while I'm talking about it here. Let's go. Can I copy his email address? Let's copy the email address. Shade. And Shade, I'm pretty sure I see your name around lots, so. Winner of Patreon draw today on episode 270 of Way of the Brush. I don't really need to type this all out right now. I'm just kind of killing time till 2 o'clock. Hi, Matt. Oops. Matt. You won the Patreon giveaway. I'll finish that up later. Shit. Where am I here? Oh, a D10. See, you guys are really clever. You guys are more clever than me. A D10, yeah, would have worked because then I would have got 5. I'm an idiot. Didn't even think of the obvious, right? A D10. Do I have a D? I don't have a D10 handy though. Oh, I'd have to go dig it in my drawer over there. No, I didn't have a D10 handy anyway. That's all right. I had the random org pulled up anyway, so no biggie. But D10, yeah, that's a brilliant idea. Next time. Stinky Diver. The uppers call us trolls because we live under the Mackinac Bridge. Har har. I can see it. You guys are a bunch of trolls. Nathaniel, I could tell it was not a GW model. He has an abdomen. Yeah, he has an abdomen. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna finish up that email. So if Matt, aka Shade 1313, I think Shade Matthew, you're typically in Discord. I see the name. I think right, Discord. I don't know if you tune in regularly for the show, but either way, Matthew, you are the winner this month of that model. So I'm gonna send you an email. I'm gonna get your shipping address, and yeah, I'll send it off to you ASAP. And thank you for being a Patreon subscriber. Armor Freak, sup, Kris, your fellow monkeys? I still live. Welcome, Armor Freak. Yeah, it has been a while since I've read that name, Armor Freak. Yeah, freak. Grim says, howdy, Armor. Howdy. So, yeah, okay. So we did the draw. We did the email. I'm caught up on emails, right? Looking around here, making sure. So I think we're good, right? We answered some questions today. I'll finish that email. Yeah. Now here's the end of the show where I'll talk about something random. This actually might, you know what, this might actually be an email or a segment of the show where I just, randomly jump into something. So, Games Workshop newsletter, Feast of Bones. It's ogres and bone duders. I like the bone duder. He's kind of cool. Kind of like in his own tomb kind of thing. Does he just have to walk around with his own like sarcophagus around him like that? That'd be kind of a pain in the ass. Feast of Bones. Bones. I always like these big guys. The big bone duders with the big wings. The big boner duders. Ogres look cool. That dude's got to be huge. I just realized that these are all ogres. Yeah, these guys are all big. And so, yeah. Oh my god. That thing on the right. The spells are cool. I like the big demon dude who's kind of floating around. But the scenery. Look at that. That's actually really cool. That actually almost make good, almost, I'm saying, almost, make good Necron type of terrain. There's not enough Necron terrain, is there? Might of the Maw. Aeronautica Imperialis. I want them to make some Eldar. I want Eldar planes. Lord of the Rings. I never played Lord of the Rings. Space Marines. Oh my god. Wait, there's more Space Marines coming out this month? Is there? Is there more Space Marines? Really? Shocked. I'm shocked. Stinky. Did you say boner dudes? Yeah, the boner dudes, man. It's the boner dudes. The boners, man. Armor Freak. Was about to say, how about them new ogres? How about them new ogres? How about them? Reese Taylor. Kris, have you seen the new Clone Wars box set for Star Wars Legion? And you excited for Mandalorian? I have not seen the Clone Wars box for Star Wars Legion. I don't really keep up on Star Wars Legion because I don't play it. I mean, you know, Clone Wars, though, in Star Wars Legion, very exciting. I've been saying it for a long time that that's where they should have started with for, you know, a tabletop game was the Clone Wars. That translates to, you know, a much better setting, you know, than the fixed Imperial versus Rebels type of shit. Am I excited for Mandalorian? Yeah, I'm excited for Mandalorian, but I'm kicking my own ass because frickin' Disney is going to get more of my money because I'm going to buy the damn subscription service and I'm going to watch Mandalorian. You know, I'm kind of pissed off at Disney because I watched that damn Aladdin last night, the remake Aladdin, and after watching it, I wanted my money back, even though I rented it online. And I was like, I should have just waited till it was on Netflix. Well, it's not going to be on Netflix now, but I should have waited until it was on the subscription service. But then if it was getting Disney Plus for Aladdin, I'd say, are you fucking crazy? No. Aladdin, I wasn't a huge fan of it. Okay, here, I'm you know what, we're going to do Kris rant. I haven't done a rant yet today, have I? So here we go. Aladdin. Okay, here's my issues with Aladdin. All right. One, it was shot the way it was filmed, very typical of the way Marvel movies are made and the way Disney movies are made. It's very flat color profiles. Mainly because I think the reason why they do that is because it's CG. It's not very interesting camera angles in it, the way you would see from a Guy Ritchie movie. Now, I'm a fan of Guy Ritchie films for the most part, and he has a distinct style in most of his movies, and oftentimes that's in the editing. And I didn't really see that in this movie. I didn't see anything in this movie that told me this was a Guy Ritchie movie. This could have been shot by anybody who currently does movies for Disney or even Marvel movies, because that's the way it felt. And some of the special effects scenes, as far as like how the CG looks, they felt like they were from Star Wars. Just these large kind of drab kind of scenery. I mean, like it didn't feel like, it felt like they did not want to do a live action version of the animation. They wanted to do something else, and it was kind of boring. And it just, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't visually interesting. I mean, like, all the colors in the movie, very, very colorful, but because the show is shot in such a fashion that the only thing striking about it is, like, it almost is a 2D film. Like, there was no interesting camera angles. There was no interesting lighting in shots. Everything was very flat and uniform lighting. Because there's so much CG in the movie, that's why it's that way. You know what I mean? Like, there was no interesting shots of, like, the cavern, like making the cavern look real, or, you know, and everything always felt rather confined. Whereas in the animated movie, the palace feels huge and open, whereas in this movie it felt very closed in. All the palace rooms are all cramped feeling. You know what I mean? Like there was no grandiose scale to everything and fantasy to it, because this is a fantasy, right? The whole premise of the movie is fantasy. So the visuals, the filming, you know what I mean? Very boring. This is one of those cases where it feels like too many cooks in the kitchen kind of thing, and I've talked about that many, many times about movies in the past. And you know, there's just when there's too many committees having a say about whatever, it kills completely. It completely kills original ideas. And you know, unfortunately, they're not in the business of producing original ideas. They're in the business of, you know, obviously making entertainment and just cookie cuttering, and you know what I mean. And so once money is the primary concern, all artistic integrity flies out the window. So that was one of my first issues with the movie. Second being the casting. Right off the hop, this movie doesn't feel like a story about Aladdin. This feels like it's a movie about the genie. Kind of lame. Aladdin's not about the genie. It's about Aladdin. The movie's about Aladdin and Jasmine, really. The kid, he's not even a kid. The guy who's playing Aladdin was a little old. He was a little old. I wasn't into this, you know. I wasn't into this young boy who's a street rat, you know, who's living on the street, you know, and he was just too old. He was too old. Jasmine was fine. Not much to say there. She was fine. Jafar, I was very disappointed in Jafar. Jafar is too young. The guy was too young. And he wasn't creepy enough. They should have got somebody who was like, almost like Christopher Lee to play Jafar. That's who I imagine. If they were going to do a live version of Aladdin, definitely, like an actor like Christopher Lee would have been a great Jafar, you know? Just because he kind of looked like him already, right? And the king, the Sultan, he kind of looked like from the cartoon, but obviously not short and pudgy, but, you know, he was fine. I mean, you know, that was all right. I was about the only one. And Will Smith as the genie. Not strong enough. Robin Williams' performance of the genie is timeless in regards because he's so frantic and manic, and his delivery is so quick, right? And it's very, very fast, and it lends very well to animation. Whereas Will Smith's portrayal of this, Will Smith's too concerned with being smooth, and his delivery is always about smooth, and it's not energetic. You know what I mean? Like the genie is just kind of, you know, and again, the story about being like about the genie. I mean, like, you know, he's trapped in his genie lamp for thousands of years, and he gets out, and he's after the handmaiden. So basically, he's just looking to rip off a piece after 10,000 years. I mean, sure, if he's a, you know, healthy, normal, heterosexual man, I mean, being locked up for 10,000 years, yeah, you might want to get out there and, you know, bust a nut. But, I mean, that's the message with the genie. That's what he really wanted. He wanted the life. You know what I mean? Like in the cartoon, when the genie gets free, he goes and ventures the world. He goes and sees the rest of the world. You know what I mean? He goes on an adventure. Whereas in this, the message is the genie, he just wanted to get married and have kids. So, you know what I mean? Like, what was the message there, right? The musical portions of the movie, even Will Smith in the musical portions of the movie, he doesn't. I wasn't feeling it. I just wasn't feeling it. I'm throwing in like a hip hop elements and stuff like that. I was fine with that. I you know what I mean? And his own take on how the sounds and everything would play out. Sure. I mean, it was what I was expecting, and you know, it was kind of fun. But as far as him delivering the lines for the music parts that were from the original, they were weak. And even the kid or the guy who's playing Aladdin, like, because I had heard I've watched Aladdin probably 100 times. My brothers and sisters, when they were small, had that thing on constant repeat. And then when I had kids, constant repeat. So I've heard that movie many, many times. And having absorbed it so many times, when I was listening to the same songs in the movie, they sounded off key. And or they just didn't sound right, or you know what I mean? Like, it didn't flow right. And the only songs that did sound good were the songs that were new for the live action, the two Jasmine songs. They sounded good. They were delivered well, and in fact somehow they fit within the movie better than the other songs, the original songs. The Jasmine songs sounded great and fit within how the story arc was going, and you know what I mean? And so those were fine. The original songs sound like shit. And I didn't care for, Will Smith being the genie. I don't know how you top doing the genie, and the fact that he was doing his own genie, but he was trying to do it different than Robin Williams, and I think that in itself was a mistake. I think that within itself was a mistake, because it's like the Jokers, right? Jack Nicholson's Joker. You think, oh my God, how do you play the Joker again? Nobody can do the Joker again. This is, you know what I mean? Jack Nicholson is the Joker. Then Heath Ledger came along. Oh my God, he's the Joker. You know what I mean? How do you do it? And they're two completely different performances. Same character, but two completely different performances. And in this movie, it's kind of like Will Smith is trying to be Will Smith being Robin Williams' character and deliver the same lines, and I think that was a mistake. They shouldn't have tried to redo that. It just didn't work for me. I just, again, because I'm so familiar with the original Aladdin that a lot of these things I was hearing them and it's like, oh no, that's awful. You know what I mean? And I was already kind of on the hater bandwagon to begin with going into this. I was already going with biases. Yes. But I was trying to leave myself open to, what's working. And like I said, like the two Jasmine songs that are not part of the original movie, I thought they were good. I thought they worked well. And, but that casting, Will Smith as a genie, no, mistake. And of course, one final thing, this is a spoiler, but how they tricked Jafar into becoming a genie does not make sense in this movie. In the original film, it makes sense, because he says, genie, make me an all-powerful genie. I want to be an all-powerful genie. Make me an all-powerful genie. Right? In this movie, he says he wants to be the most powerful being. Well, how is it established that a genie is the most powerful being in the universe? Right? I don't understand why that makes no sense on how he gets locked up. Again, because I've seen the original Aladdin movies a bazillion times, I realized I went from hundreds of thousands to bazillions, but I think you guys understand what I'm saying here. I just didn't care for this movie. I kind of went into it wanting to not like it anyway, and I'm pretty much there, and those are legit reasons. I mean, and of course, a lot of people talked about, and I remember reading about a couple things about like Aladdin, about, the social issues and, social commentary on it. And I get it. I think they wasted a perfect opportunity for exploring those kind of things within a film, especially in a kid's film. Like, what if you wanted to make the story about the genie? What if you made the genie a female? You want to talk about, social issues. Just change the story so that the genie is a female. Just wasted opportunities. I didn't care for it. Wasn't my jam. Armor Freak. Steve Buscemi as Jafar. It needs work, yeah. Pirate Captain Daniel. Yeah, I saw Aladdin on the plane, LA last month. Was severely disappointed. Thankfully watched Stan and Ollie afterwards, which was fantastic. I'm not familiar with Stan and Ollie is. But Ghost Star Alex. What the fuck? I thought Aladdin was a true story. Yeah, it's a historical recounting. Yeah. Nathaniel, Joaquin Phoenix version of Joker wasn't too bad. No, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. Joaquin Phoenix is a great actor. Him as the Joker in that iteration of a Joker story, I thought was excellent. That movie, Joker, was an excellent film. By any measure of filmmaking, it was an excellent film. It took chances, and hey, I'm one for whenever we diverge from the mainstream, and that Joker definitely does, and yet doesn't. I just like that. We start off caring, about the Joker, right? And at some point you realize, wait a second, I'm rooting for this fucking maniac. Like, hold on, what's wrong with me? And is that the commentary that the director's making? That when we empathize with the Joker, and as he becomes more and more twisted, what does that say about us? That we're still on board with him, right? At some point, you got to go, whoa, wait a second, Joker. That's messed up. You shouldn't be doing that, buddy. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. The Joker, the Joaquin Phoenix Joker was excellent. That was an excellent film. I'm glad I caught that one. I actually went to the theater and watched that one. After watching Aladdin, and I rented it on the box, I fucking wanted my money back. I wanted to cancel my credit card charge. It's like, no, fuck, that wasn't me. No, man. Time is it? Holy shit, it's a quarter after. We're done. We're done, right? We're done. Yeah, we're done. I turned off the chat. We're done. If I've turned off the chat, that means we're done. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. If you're brand new to this hobby, you have questions, maybe you want help with a color scheme, or you just want to show off what you're working on, send your questions and pictures and comments and what have you, whatever you feel like sharing, to Kris@wayofthebrush.com. It is in the description below, as well as a link to wayofthebrush.com, which is central hub of all the silliness, links to all the social medias, as well as t-shirts. Want to help support the cause, look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this world, they're wearing a Way of the Brush t-shirt. And of course, if you've purchased yourself a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt, and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, which is also wayofthebrush.com. And, really awesome. Also on wayofthebrush.com is a link for Patreon support. I'm independent these days. I'm relying solely on Patreon. And, so far, things have been going well. I would like to ramp up more production. Just kind of getting there. Really few hurdles, but no biggie. But yeah, goal is to, continue to produce videos and tutorials answering your questions. And so with your support, I can continue that work and, make the information available for everybody. So yeah, Patreon support. Huge thank you to everybody who currently supports me. We did the draw today, so congratulations to Shade1313 for, and I'll be sending you an email, Shade, Matt, for your shipping address, and I'll send that off to you. You have a Kris Bello original. It's not original. I didn't sculpt it, but that whole thing, yeah, there's no other piece like that. It's an original. It's unique. And of course, considering Patreon support, huge thank you. And if you're not able to support monetarily, clicking the thumbs up, liking, sharing, subscribing, ringing the bell, following, all that stuff helps as well. And so a huge thank you to everybody who does, share these videos and likes and comments and, all that. It all helps because it all helps, the algorithms and stuff like that. Big thank you big thank you to Carl, aka Guymere Alfer, aka Beer and Blood Bowl. That's his YouTube channel. Check him out if you love yourself some beer and you love yourself some Blood Bowl. Beer and Blood Bowl is where it's at. And we always say thank you to Carl for taking the time out of his busy day to create the email jingle that plays before the email segment of the show, email segments, because I can play a few of them today. And so, thank you. Mikey Egan. Hey, Kris, how's the solo thing going? Haven't been able to catch you in a while. I'm posting videos pretty regularly. I just posted today, actually, for the patrons. I posted a battle report. So, Drukari versus Eldari battle report for the patrons. I'll be posting it on the YouTube channel this week at some point, this coming week. I usually try and give, as I build up a library of videos, time will go on that, some videos, especially for the painting videos, it could be, hopefully, I'll get to the point where I'm, say, a month. And so you guys will have access to the painting videos, a month ahead of time and, what have you. So, yeah. Anyway, Jabba's Left Nut. I've got to cancel my patron now because you slagged off Aladdin. Thanks. My master's not happy. Nathaniel, sacrifice your other nut to appease him. Wait, hold on. You're canceling because of my opinion on Aladdin? No? All right. You gotta do what you gotta do. You have to be a man of conscience. And so... Actually, I don't even know if Jabba Left Nut is a man. I assume with a name like that, you are a man, but... He's like, what the hell? Now I'm definitely canceling. He's like, what is he talking about? I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's an idiot. I am an idiot, but anyway. Yeah, so we're done. We're done. I want to thank you guys. Tune in. I will see you guys later. For all the patron supporters, hopefully, my internet issues have resolved themselves. The stream today went off with 0 hitches. So, there is that. So I think I will see you Patreon supporters Monday, as we'll do a Monday live show. And, yeah. Right? I'm getting the hell out of here. Getting tired. I'm getting hungry. Getting hungry. So, take care of those brushes. They'll take care of you. And I will see you guys in the next exciting episode. Exciting. Guaranteed to be, 5% more exciting. 5%. I'm guaranteeing 5% more exciting. Guaranteeing it. Okay, first of all, what's the first rule of Fight Club? No talking about Fight Club. So yeah, just go home. Go home. Go Star Wars Deluxe. If there's no after show, yeah. Flick and poop, yeah. No, you're not supposed to talk about Fight Club. Not supposed to talk about Fight Club. You know what I realized? We didn't even name the show. We didn't even name the goddamn show today. What is up with that? So I'm just gonna label it Patreon giveaway. Yeah, we'll just call it that. Give away. Patreon giveaway. There we go. All right? That's what we're naming it. Ba-boom. And then ba-boom. Ba-boom. There we go. Patreon giveaway. Geofits. Yeah. So, I think we're done. Sorry, I'm just cleaning up some of my things here. My inbox. Oh, Dan sent an email, but I missed it. That's okay. We'll get to it next week. Dan? Yeah, Dan. What did he send? Ooh, some 30K. Oh, Pirate Captain Daniel. Cool. All right. So, nothing pressing. No burning questions. Nothing left to ask. While you have me here for another minute. Yeah. I gotta clean my office. Go Sarah Deluxe. At last, Fight Club continues. Flight Club? Or Figgith Club? In the old Figgith Club? Listen here, you son of a bitch. Joining the old Fight Club. Jabba's Left Nut. What time's the live show on Monday? For the patrons, well, I think you're a patron, right, Jabba? Anyway, live show. I've been trying to do it for like 12 or 1 my time, which for the European side of things is like evening, like 4 or 5, something like that. Kind of around this time, or before this. You know what I mean. It's just kind of, I don't know if you've been keeping up with the Patreon, because I think I've done 1 or 2 of them now. 1 or 2. But, you know, just time for just us patrons, you know. We can use the time for anything, answer questions, you know. Some of you guys might want a little bit more help with something, or, you know, or just want to talk. It's really just you guys' time. You guys'. Monster Judas, Aladdin and the Patreon giveaway. Aladdin and the Patreon giveaway. Actually, I kind of like that better. Let's change that. You know what? When you're right, you're right. Aladdin and the Patreon giveaway. There we go. It's Aladdin and the Patreon giveaway. Me bitching about Aladdin. About a kid's movie. I mean, like, you know, like, when I watch movies, you know, I want to be entertained, you know? And they could have went into some interesting directions with it. I thought, you know, the choices they made were just kind of, again, it's a problem with, you know, movie making, I think, in this day, you know? Just too many cooks in the kitchen. You know, that's what it is. And that's with anything, really. That's any time that anything becomes an institution, that, you know, you have all these people who want to have their say on things, and, you know, oftentimes you just need somebody to steer it, you know. And like I said, like, the movie, it doesn't feel like a Guy Ritchie movie at all. Mind you, I did not watch, what was that, King Arthur? I didn't watch that one. So I have no idea, you know, if that's kind of the thing. Because, I mean, you watch, like, Lock, Stock, and Snatch, Rock and Rolla, Sherlock Holmes, you know what I mean? Like, you watch those movies, and they definitely have a Guy Ritchie type of vibe to them. and this movie did not. Now, mind you, like I said, I didn't watch King Arthur, so I don't have no idea if that had a Guy Ritchie film or vibe to it either. But yeah, and I really enjoy Lock, Stock, Snatch. Those are excellent movies, you know. And to think, you know, you come from somewhere like that, and then, you know, Aladdin, you know what I mean? And you as a director, you know, you're building up your name and your reputation, you know what I mean? And then you don't see that person's touch in the work. At least not that I saw, anyway. Not in the movie I watched last night. Ghost Starman Deluxe. I built a little transport type thing during the show. We'll try to remember to send an email. Yes, please send an email, man. Send an email. Jabba's Left Nut. Disney aren't going to recreate the wheel. It's all about the dollar. Well, sure. But I mean, you know, they could have, you know, taken that property and done something else interesting. I mean, with any of these reboots, right? You know. And yeah, I did not watch the Beauty and the Beast remake. I heard that one was pretty good, but people were saying that this Aladdin one was good. Compared to the classic film, the animation, I mean, again, like if you're gonna do that and bring a live action, either you commit to translating it, or you don't, you know, and that just, it didn't feel like a hot mess, but it just didn't. I don't know. I just did not care for it at all. I thought it was just a cookie cutter type of thing, you know. No thanks. Wasn't interesting. The Monster Judas. Getting to name an episode is better than winning a painting competition. Says someone who hasn't won a painting competition. Jabba's Left Nut. King Arthur is medieval lock stock. Oh. Yeah. Monster Judas. Guy Ritchie said he only did it so his kids can watch one of his movies. I'm sure his kids have already seen Snatch and his other movies. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the Sherlock Holmes movies. Those are fun movies. And you definitely can feel, you know, his take on things. You know what I mean? This did not feel like a Guy Ritchie film at all. And like I said, and because of that, you know, like there was no very interesting camera angles, or, you know what I mean? Like it was just a lot of straight on boring shots. And there's even one sequence where I could see the camera movement was digital. Not digital, but like it was on a remote. And the camera was not like a handheld operator. It was a very mechanical thing because I could see the camera moves. And it's because the shot was CG, but, you know, because they do it that way so that when they shoot the clean plates and everything like that, right? Because the computer movement of the camera is more precise, and you can duplicate it, right? So you could see it in this one shot. It's near the end of the movie where he's walking up from his place, and you can see like the tapestries, like, or the cloth hanging, and he's looking out over Agrabah, and you know what I mean, like, meh, you know, I don't know. I didn't care for Aladdin. There were so many issues for me. And of course, the big one, you know, when Jafar, make me an all-powerful being. That's not the line. The line is, make me an all-powerful genie. Then he gets turned into a genie, and then it's all very clever. We tricked him into being a genie, right? In the movie, it made no sense. I want to be an all-powerful being. Bro, I'm a genie, and I'm trapped now. And it's like, no, he didn't ask for that, right? He didn't ask for that. It's just, it's lame. It's lazy. It's lazy and it's lame. And it's lazy and it's lame. And it's just, you know, meh. Jabba's Left Nut. Maybe Tarantino should make a Disney movie. Yeah, see, no, that will never happen. I don't think so. I don't think you could get a Tarantino to make a movie. You could definitely do a G Tarantino film. Tarantino could do a G film. He totally could. And in fact, he may. I'm excited for his take on Star Trek. That's the one I'm excited for. I'm looking forward to that. Because who knows what crazy ass direction he's going to go with that. And I'm sure the Star Trek fans, like the die-hard Star Trek fans, are probably going to hate it. Whatever it is, they're just going to flat out fucking hate it. But I'm sure Tarantino's take, because he sounds like he's a genuine Star Trek fan, that I'm sure that whatever he does, it will be true to Star Trek in the pure sense. I'm sure, which is why I think so many people are really excited to see his take on Star Trek. I would love to see it. And as far as Tarantino doing like a Disney movie, could you imagine like if you could just take the gloves off him and let him remake any of the Disney movies, and to stay within a G, but to do his own thing, I think would be very interesting. You know, like that would be his only constriction, is to make a G, is to keep a G at the very least, you know, G plus, you know, almost PG, right? I'm sure he could do it. I'm sure he could do it. I'm trying to think of if he has done anything that was kind of, you know, not terribly challenging. Yeah. Monster Judas. Technically, Disney owned Miramax when he made some of his movies. Sure. Ghost Siren Deluxe. Didn't Tarantino get outed for having a weird fetish? I'm having like the sexual preferences of somebody. As long as there's not an endangerment to anybody, you know, I don't think it really matters. If he's into feet, big whoop, you know, which I think it is. I think that like, and I mean, there's tons of people who are into feet. So is it a weird fetish or is it just one of those things? You know, no, I mean, like there are some weird sexual things, you know what I mean? Like, you know, pedos, you know, those are obviously a danger, right? TH, give me Tarantino's Bambi. That would actually probably be a very dark story. But it'd be interesting, right? I don't think it wouldn't be, in fact, if Tarantino was to redo like a Disney story, it probably would be a wild departure, probably from the original material, especially if you were going from an animated movie original to a live action remake. Yeah. Because I don't think he has the patience to deal with a whole bunch of CG. He just wants the camera and just gets it in the camera. You know what I mean? If he can't do it in the camera, I don't think he would want to do it. Because if it's got to be a bunch of CG, you know what I mean? Like if it was like Lion King, right? And just, you know, yeah. Ghost Starman Alex, I didn't know about it personally. Well, I mean, everybody's got some sort of weird fetish. You can say anybody's got a weird fetish. You know? I mean, what he does behind doors, if it doesn't hurt other people, I mean, does it really matter? Because, I mean, again, I mean, if you are judging somebody, which you shouldn't be doing anyway, if you're judging somebody because of, you know, what gets them excited, you know, sexually, I mean, like, then, you know, you're two steps away from, you know, bashing homosexuals. You know what I mean? Like, you know, saying, you know, bad things about them. And I mean, like, it doesn't matter. People's sexuality, what they do behind closed doors, as long as it doesn't hurt other people, I mean, who cares? Who cares? It doesn't matter. It has no bearing on what they do, what their job is. You know what I mean? Can you imagine? Okay, imagine, right? Imagine a police officer who just happens to be into feet. Does it really affect the way they do police work? No. Unless, of course, they were staring at the feet all the time, but but it has no bearing. So, I mean, like, you know, what does it matter, right? I mean, what does it matter if the cop is gay or, you know, like, Doesn't matter. The sexual preferences of people, and, doesn't matter. TH, 100% Travolta plays the rabbit. Yeah, the rabbit. TH, Bambi done in the style of Pulp Fiction as a revenge drama. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, but I'm sure, you could take a Disney film and with some of the unfinished footage and do like a re-edit. And just to see as an experiment. But I mean, anybody could do that. Just take a Disney film and just re-edit it. The one I kind of get a chuckle at is the when I see like the Friends re-edits, and it portrays Ross as like some sort of serial killer. Freaking hilarious! It's just, you can edit anything and put a soundtrack behind it and totally change the emotional context of a scene, just by changing color, changing sound, camera angle, what I mean? They're just making subtle changes, the same delivery, but subtle changes, and it completely changes the context and the tone of a scene. And I think, that's very interesting. That's one of those aspects of filmmaking I find very interesting, But anyway, I'm getting the hell out of here now. I will see you guys later. Yeah, I already said my adieus, so you guys don't need anything else. Okay, go do something. Go paint something. Be productive. Do something. For God's sakes, do something.